Welcome everyone to the very first video of Bullshit Creepypasta Storytime, the Creepypasta segment that I promised you a few months back. And kudos to the people who guessed the name for this segment. I'm sorry, I just couldn't resist putting bullshit in the title of this. But yes, it's the first episode of this brand new series. Now, don't get too scared just yet, because as it's the first video, I want to explain how these will go down, and then I'm gonna read it to you. Ooh. Now the format of these videos will be more or less the same as they were when I talked about creepypastas for gaming mysteries. The main difference is I'll be doing a lot more reading, as this is a story time, though if the story is too shitty I may summarize when needed. But yes, other than the more reading, it's the same. I'm still going to be a sarcastic bastard while reading the story, and at the end I'll give you my conspiracy theories and all the scary ghosts and the... Now, this particular story has a fan game to go along with it, so I'll show you some footage of that along with some generic footage, just in case. But without further delay, it's time to read, because today on Bullshit Creepypasta Storytime, I'm telling the overly blood-stuffed tale of Sonic.EXE. Now the story starts with a total Sonic fan, because that's how the story starts. Guess I'll be reading this from the first perspective. Yay! Pretend I'm that guy, except when I make stupid comments. So like, I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan, much like everyone else. Yes, because everyone in the world loves Sonic. Way to make up the world's mind for it, you fucker. Anywho, I like the newer games, but I don't mind playing the classics. I don't think I've ever played a glitchy or hacked games before, though I don't think I want to play any after the experience I had. Dramatic pause, ... It all started on a nice summer afternoon. I was playing Sonic Unleashed, and in parentheses, I liked how you got to explore the towns in it. But yeah, I was doing that until I noticed, out of my peripheral vision, that the mailman had arrived and put something in my mailbox, as usual, and left. It'd be weird if he hung around. It's a good thing that he does his job. I paused my game to go see what I got in the mail, and the only thing in the mailbox was a CD case for computers. That's right. Computers. We're delving into the world of technology, so hold on to your seats. But wait, because it came with a note as well. We're also delving into the world of paper. So he looked inside the mail package thing. Now I'm going to not read from the first perspective just to change things up. He looked at the note first and realized it was from his dear friend Kyle. You guys know Kyle. And in parentheses, let's just call him that. Wouldn't want to expose Kyle's precious identity in this high-caliber tale. Tee-hee-hee. He hadn't heard from Kyle for about 2 weeks, and he knew it was Kyle because he recognized the handwriting. Though, what was weird was how it looked. Apparently he didn't recognize the handwriting. It looked badly written, and scratchy, and somewhat difficult to read, as if Kyle was having a hard time writing it down and did it in a hurry. It's that, or his handwriting is just shitty. And you say you know who Kyle is. You don't know anything about Kyle. Some friend you are. The note said, Tom, I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing somehow before it was too late. And I was hoping you'd do it for me. I can't do it. He's after me. And if you don't destroy this CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me. Please, Tom, destroy this godforsaken disc before he comes after you too. It's too late for me. That was just a sound effect. It was a dying sound effect, because he's dead. Maybe. I don't actually know. Destroy the disc, and you'll destroy him. There can be only one, but do it quickly, otherwise he'll catch you. Don't even play the game. It's what he wants. Just destroy it, please. Signed by Kyle. Now, Tom over here thought that this was certainly weird, even though Kyle was his best friend and he hadn't seen him in 2 weeks. He didn't do what he was asked of him. You asshole friend, you won't even heed his warnings. He said destroy it like 18 times, but someone has selective reading. Tom didn't think that a simple gaming disc would do anything bad. After all, it's just a game, right? Boy, was he wrong about that. Anyway, he looked at the disc, and it looked like any ordinary computer CDR disc, except it had black marker on it, and what was written was Sonic.EXE. But it was much unlike Kyle's handwriting. Not that you would know that, would you, Tom? But he must have gotten the game from someone else, like a pawn shop, or eBay, or that old guy who wanders around and gives people games. Legally, he's not allowed around kids, but no one's patrolling the area. I blame Tom. We need a scapegoat. Tom's here? I don't know. But when Tom, the horrible friend, saw Sonic on the writing of the CD, he got excited and wanted to play it. Since he is a big Sonic fan, he went to his room and turned on his computer, put the disc in, and installed the game. When the title screen popped up, he noticed it was the first Sonic game, and he was like, awesome! Because he said earlier, through me, he liked the classics. Remember? The first thing he noticed that was out of place was when he pressed start, there was a split second when he saw the title image turn into something much different, something he now considered horrifying. Because he's a huge pussy. He remembered what the image looked like in the split second it showed up. The sky had darkened. The title emblem was rusted and ruined with rust. And the Sega 1991 was now Sega 666. Because that's cliche and it belongs in this creepypasta. And the water had turned red like blood. Except it looked hyper-realistic. Hyper-realistic blood. But the freakiest thing he saw was Sonic. His eyes were pitch black and bleeding with two glowing red dots staring right at him. Tom is a little vain and thinks the world revolves around him. Everything has to be about you, doesn't it? Like this story, This is why Kyle won't talk to you anymore. He's my friend now. But let's assume Sonic was staring right at him, so you can feel special. Sonic's smile had stretched wider, up to the edge of his face. He was rather disturbed about the image when he saw it, though figured it was a glitch and forgot about it. Really? You dumb fucker. Yep, it was a glitch, rather elaborate and descriptive, but glitch. After it cut to black, it stayed like that for about 10 seconds or so, and then another weird thing happened. Oh boy, the save select from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 popped up, and he was like, WTF, what's this doing in the first Sonic game? Because this is obviously the weirdest thing that's happened so far. Anyway, he noticed something was off, because so far everything else has just been spot on. The background was the dark, cloudy sky of the Bad Stardust Speedway level from Sonic CD, and there was only 3 save files! The music was the creepy caverns of winter music from Earthbound. Ooh, only it was extended and seemed to have been in reverse, and the image for the save file where you would see a preview of the level you're on is just red static for all 3 files. You know, red like blood. What freaked him out more, said Tom, the easily freaked out shit story writer, was the character select. It only showed Tails, Knuckles, and to his surprise, gasp, Dr. Robotnik! Now he knew something was up. Finally, I was starting to think this guy was a moron. How can you play as Robotnik in a classic Sonic game? For crying out loud. He's probably still a moron. That's when he realized that this wasn't a glitchy game. It was a hacked game. A little slow on the uptake, aren't we, Tom? This clever line is followed up with, yep, it's definitely looked hacked, said Detective Tom. It was really creepy, but as a smart gamer, that's the funniest line in this whole fucking story. Now you're just telling lies, Tom. Kyle knows better. I know better. We all know better. But as a smart gamer, he wasn't scared, or at least he tried not to be. He told himself it was just a hacked game, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just being itself. Anyways, shaking off the creeped out feeling he had, because he's a pussy, he picked file 1 and chose Tails, and when he selected and got started, the game froze for about 5 seconds, and then he heard a creepy pixelated laugh that sounded a lot like that Kefka guy from Final Fantasy before cutting to black. The screen stayed black for about 10 seconds or more. Good thing Tom is keeping a stopwatch with him so we know all the times for this shit. Then it showed the typical level title thing. Good thing Tom also has the technical lingo down, except the simplistic shapes were different shades of red with text that showed only Hill Act 1. The screen faded in, and the level title vanished, revealing Tails in Green Hill Zone from Sonic 1. The music was different, though. It sounded like a peaceful melody in reverse. Whatever the fuck that's supposed to sound like. Anyways, he started playing, and had Tails start running like you would in any of the classic Sonic games. Mr. Classic Sonic Game over here knows everything about fucking classic Sonic games. But what was odd was that Tails was running along the level, but there was nothing but flat ground and a few trees for 5 minutes. Again, good thing he has that stopwatch. We wouldn't know what was going on otherwise. But that was when the peaceful music started to lower down into a low, deep tone. Very low, as he kept going. Ooh, here comes blood. He suddenly saw something and stopped to see what it was. Again, it was one of the small animals lying dead on the ground, bleeding, with blood. See? I told you the blood thing was coming. Tails had a shocked and saddened look on his face that Tom had never seen before. So he had to move along. Way to be sympathetic, Tom, you son of a bitch. Tails kept having that worried look on his face, and he kept moving. He saw more dead animals, though, as Tails moved past them, looking more and more worried as the music lowered, and he moved past more dead animals' blood. Tom was shocked to see how they all died. They looked like someone killed them in rather gruesome ways. A squirrel was hanging from a tree with what appeared to be his entrails hanging out. I don't know. A bunny had all 4 of his limbs torn off, and a duck had his eyes gouged out and his throat slit. Really, one of those would have done the trick, but whatever. Tom, the pussy, felt sick to his stomach when he saw this massacre, and apparently Tails felt sick too. Making sense, because Tails is the official pussy of the whole series. After a few more seconds, there were no more animals, and the music seemed to have stopped. So we had Tails continue. After a minute passed, after the music stopped, after Tails was running up a hill, and then he stopped. It wasn't until he saw why. Sonic was there on the other side of the screen, with his back against Tails, with his eyes closed. Tails looked happy to see Sonic, but then his smile faltered, obviously noticing that Sonic wasn't responding to him, if not acting as if totally oblivious to Tails' prep. What the fuck? Tails walked slowly towards Sonic, and Tom noticed that he wasn't even moving the keyboard to make him move, so this had to be a cutscene. It had to! Blood! Suddenly, he began to have a growing feel of dread as Tails walked closer to Sonic to get his attention. He felt that Tails was in danger, and something bad was about to happen. He heard a faint static growing louder as Tails was but inches away from Sonic and stopped, but stuck his hand out to touch him. The foreboding feeling in his gut was growing stronger, and he felt the urge to tell Tails to get away from Sonic. Yes, yell at your monitor. This is the clear solution to the problem. Don't turn off your computer, just yell. Suddenly, again, in a split second, he saw Sonic's eyes open, and they were black with those red glowing dots, just like the title image. Though there wasn't a smile. When this happened, the screen turned to black and the static sound was off. It stayed black for about 7 seconds, stopwatch, and then white text appeared, forming a message, as text tends to do. Hello, do you want to play with me? At this point, Tom was creeped out. He didn't want to continue with the game, but his curiosity got the better of him when he was taken to a different level, with the title now saying hide and seek. You and your fucking curiosity. This time, he was in the Angel Island level from Sonic 3, and it looked like everything was on fire. Fire, red, like blood. Ah. Yeah, this is monotonous for me too. Shut up. Tails looked as though he was scared out of his wits this time. He actually looked at Tom. Again, you vain fucker. World revolves around you, not no, it doesn't. But Tails made frantic gestures to Tom, as if he wanted to get out of the area he was in as fast as possible. Tom was starting to get a little freaked out by this, 'cause Tails was actually breaking the fourth wall, trying to tell him to get him out of there. It's that, or you're on a lot of drugs. So Tom pressed down on the arrow key as hard as he could, and made him run as fast as he could. A pixelated version of that creepy theme when you meet Shadow at the Ark as Robotnik from Sonic Adventure 2, this is getting way too specific, was playing as he made Tails trek through the desolate forest, trying to help him escape from whatever he was trying to run from. Suddenly, he heard the creepy laugh again, that awful Kefka laugh. Someone doesn't like Kefka. Fuck you, Tom. Right after 19 seconds, counting, had passed, as he helped Tails run through the forest, he began seeing flashes of Sonic popping everywhere on the screen, again with those black eyes and the red... The music changed to that suspenseful drowning jingle, which I like. Suspenseful drowning jingle. Jingle implying nice, drowning implying not nice, as he saw Sonic behind Tails, slowly gaining up on him, flying! Sonic wasn't even running, he was actually flying. Detective Tom figured out something else. Running isn't flying. I hope you're all taking notes, because this is going to be on the test later. The flying pose made his sprite look similar to Metal Sonic's flying pose, except it was just Sonic, and he still had the black and the red eyes. Yeah, I get the fucking picture. Black and the red eyes, I get it. But this time, Sonic had the most deranged looking grin on his face. He looked as though he was enjoying the torment he was giving the poor little fox as he gained up on him. Blood. Blood, you guys! Suddenly, Tails tripped. Way to go. You can fly too, can't you? But anyways, in parentheses, another cutscene. The music stopped and Sonic vanished. Tails laid there. Try flying! And started crying for 15 seconds. Puss. The scene was rather upsetting to watch, and Tom kind of teared up too. Oh, you little girl, it's not real. Pull yourself together there, Skippy. But then Sonic appeared right in front of Tails, and Tails looked up in horror. Blood, here we go, started to come down from those blackened eyes of Sonic as a grin slowly grew on his face as he looked down at the horrified fox. Tom could do nothing but watch. Turning off the PC was apparently not an option. I bet Tom was getting off of this, that sick fuck. Yet another reason why Kyle and all of us hate you. You suck! Just in a split second, though, Sonic lunged at Tails right before the screen went to black. There was a loud screeching noise. It only lasted 5 seconds. Again, really glad you're keeping track of the numbers. Just saying. Nice to know you have your priorities in this weird situation straight. Way to go, Tom! The text returned, only this time it said, "You're too slow. Want to try again?" And then that god-awful laugh came with it. Tom was so shocked by what had happened. Did Sonic murder Tails? No, he couldn't have. He and Tails are supposed to be best friends, right? Why would Sonic do that to him? Why, Tom? Why? Tom shook the shock off as he was brought back to the character select screen. The save file that had Tails was different. Tails was no longer in the box itself, but in the TV screen itself, which was flickering with that red static. Tails' expression scared Tom, 'cause you know, the pussy thing. His eyes were black and bleeding. His orange fur had gone black, and he had an expression of anguish on his face. He was goth. Trying to ignore it, he picked Knuckles next. Now I'm going to stop here for a second and say something. I can't read the rest of this. Do you want to know why? This story is fucking terrible. I mean, Christ, we're only through what I'm going to call the first arc, the Tails arc, and I already want to kill myself. So far, I've been able to establish that Tom's a pussy, he's easily freaked out, OMG Blood, not a fan of Kefka, doesn't have the intelligence to turn off the fucking computer and go for a jog, and blood, bloody blood, dead animal blood. And you know what's worse? That's basically the rest of the story. This happens with the other two characters as well. It's just a little shorter or slightly changed. Oh no, running right, scared, blood, Sonic, black eyes, red dots, bloody, dead stuff, blood, scared, blood, me not know how turn off computer, machine scare me, don't know how works. This character's in agony, I feel so bad for them. Sonic's a dickhead and he's evil, rinse and repeat. I'm sorry, I can't read this all. I know it's the first video in the series, but god damn. So, what I'm gonna do is summarize-ish the Knuckles and Robotnik arcs a little, and then we'll skip to the end and I'll give my final bitchy thoughts. Ready, go. Oh no, gotta play as Knuckles. Bloody blood, static, and oops, here's Sonic, and Sonic's driving me and Knuckles crazy, and I still don't know how to turn off computer. Computer scare me, and then Sonic gets Knuckles and then shoves Knuckles into a box like Tails. Sonic says some stuff, but I don't care. Knuckles looks fucked up. Tommy Boy finally shuts off the game for nap time. But that was disturbed by a nightmare. He was in pitch blackness with Tails and Knuckles, and they were crying for his help because the world revolves around Tom, because Tom's so fucking important. You're a prick. Sonic gets up close and personal with Tom, saying, "You're a lot of fun to play with, kid, just like your friend Kyle, though he didn't last long." You like this accent I'm giving Sonic? He's from Brooklyn, like a really whiny Brooklyn. Won't be long now until you join him and all my other friends. You can't run, kid. You're in my world now. Well, we're not from Brooklyn anymore, apparently. Just like the others. Now I'm gonna grab you, and you're gonna wake up and play the stupid game again. Now he's playing as Robotnik. There's blood stains everywhere, and Robotnik looks unsure, and ooh, blood. And he had to go down some stairs, which is undoubtedly Robotnik's nightmare because he's so out of shape. Look at him. Kefka laughed. Again. Dark red, black flame, blood. Oops, here's Sonic again, and now Tom was shown a most unpleasant image. It was a hyper-realistic oh no, it was so scary that I fucked up that line. I could go back and fix it, but I can't because I'm so scared. Because it was a hyper-realistic image of Sonic standing in the darkness where you could only see his face while his head and torso faded into black. And when Tom says hyper-realistic a million fucking times, he means so real that you could actually see the lines of blue fur as if you could actually feel the fur if you touch the screen. Not the screen, you'd feel the fur. His face. Oh god! He had the most horrifying smile Tom had ever seen. Oh, jeez. Blah blah image, static, showed up again, text saying, "I am God," which was apparently the most horrifying thing he'd ever seen. Words, Sonic was a monster, pure evil, sadistic, all-powerful, nightmarish, demented monster, just like God, and his victims are his little toys. Then Tom screamed like a little girl as Sonic lunged at the screen with his mouth wide open, and he yelled for a good 7 seconds. He counted that on his watch. Fuck, it keeps going. Here's round 2. Tom cried for the characters as they were bummed, depressed, and forever tormented by that horrid hedgehog. That horrid fictional hedgehog. Then the computer shut itself off. Oh, thank God. He sat there for 25 seconds, counting each individual second. Otherwise, he wouldn't know how many seconds was going on. He couldn't get the game out of his computer. It's stuck in there. But he at least managed to turn the computer back on now. After he sat there for another 25 seconds, because 25 is a nice number apparently, he heard a voice right behind him. "Try to keep this interesting for me, Tom." Tom turned around to see where the voice came from. And what he saw made him scream, because sitting on his bed, staring right at him, was a Sonic plushie who was smiling with bloodstains under his eyes. The end. fuck? Alright, this is fucking terrible. I had to read it, and record myself reading it, and edit my reading of it. I've gone through hell. For you guys. You're welcome. Now, for the skeptics, no, it's not real. Get the fuck out of here. As for the story, it is shit. It repeats itself constantly, going on and on about blood and freaking out and blood, and I feel bad for the characters and blood, and Tom keeps describing things repeatedly, as well as just saying shit numerous times, like hyper-realistic and blood, and I feel bad. Yeah, blood. So, bleh. Yes, I get it. Sonic has black eyes and red dots. Christ, I can read. You're insulting the reader. The 3, let's call them arcs. Well, there's probably more than 3 if you really break it down. We're just going to call it 3 arcs, though. They play out the same as in, oh no, here's this character, but now there's this blood, and here comes Sonic, and he's a dick, so bad things are going to happen. Tom is also vain and thinks that the world revolves all around him, and everything's about him. Like, he's so fucking important. And the story ends with a plushie that flew out of his computer monitor. And then it sat on his bed. What message is that trying to send? Oh no, free toys, Sonic, you're such a dick. The story is so bad it literally pissed me off, and I rarely get pissed off. I'm such a well-rounded individual, and I can say without a doubt, this is one of the worst things I have ever read. Now, if you would like to read this piece of shit, a link to it will be in the description of this video, and to those disappointed that I didn't read the whole thing, show some sympathy. I'm lucky I made it through that first part alive. I could have killed myself, but I'm still here. The scariest thing about this whole thing is that I know deep down in my heart it's just gonna get worse, because I just started this segment and there are more stories out there. So, if you have suggestions, by all means, lay them on me and I'll rip them apart with my being a dickness. In any case, this has been Bullshit Creepypasta Storytime. Thanks for watching, or listening, I guess. I want to kill myself. Hey guys, welcome to the 4th end slate. Usually I'd fuck around in this section and just prolong the end of the video, but considering how long this has already gone, I'm gonna keep this pretty fucking brief, because 27 minutes, my god. That was hell to edit, by the way. Like, I got bored halfway through, so the more you know. Anyways, here we are, end of the video. I'm gonna recommend videos, because that's what you do here. So, 2 videos up top. Here's how it's gonna go. One of the videos is the Gaming Mysteries. Oh, before I go any further, I should say, I hope you enjoyed the new stupid segment that you guys wanted me to do. Because that's the only reason I am doing it, because you guys wanted me to, and because it's kind of fun to be an asshole. But anyways, 2 videos I'll be recommending this time around. We got Gaming Mysteries Bend Round. You know, maybe you've heard of it. That was a video I did. Yeah, it's the most viewed thing on my channel. I don't know. But in case you haven't seen it, there it is. And then there's going to be another Gaming Mysteries, and this is going to be a Gaming Mysteries on a canceled Sonic game called Sonic.EXE. Now, I'm suggesting that because I just did a very, very long video about Sonic. So, I figured we'd keep with the theme. So, you know, we're keeping with the theme in 2 aspects. Sonic in 1 aspect, and then Creepypasta with the bend around thing. So, and the bottom of the screen. Hey guys, you know, if you like this incredibly, if you're still here, you deserve a subscription. My god, it's been 27 minutes. If you listen to me talk for 27 minutes, I love you. But if you like the videos I do and you want to subscribe or like, do whatever you want. You know, it's not my call. But I do hope you enjoyed the ungodly long video that I produced. And I'll see you next time. Also, don't forget to leave suggestions for future videos in this series, because it's going downhill from here, guys. Bye.